Hey folks, Sean McInnes here at Comic-Con 2011, where I am joined by Casey Hudson from BioWare, here to talk to us all about Mass Effect 3. Casey, thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, Casey, so you guys are giving fans a chance to go hands-on with Mass Effect 3 for what I believe is the first time. You know, when people are going to pick up the controller for the first time and approach Mass Effect 3, what's the biggest difference that they're going to notice once they get the controllers in their hand?
I think probably the biggest difference they'll notice right away is we've seen a lot of feedback about just the immediacy of we've got very tight controls. The weapons that we've got, especially in this demo, are really hard hitting. So we've got a rifle that basically can fire as fast as you can pull the trigger. So we've got some new pistols and stuff like that we're showing off. So just the weapons. Another thing people have commented on is, it's a first for this series, but obviously not in other games. But the ability to lob a grenade, kind of a ballistic grenade. So that's another really cool thing. That just these things, there's some things that we do. If you look at some other shooters and whatnot, they might have, for example, an enemy in this demo that people will play kind of advances on you with a shield. And so you might have seen that in other shooters. But what we realized is that in the Mass Effect experience, because you've got a squad of 3 characters and you've got all these powers, suddenly that becomes really interesting because flanking is actually really valuable. You can have your friends take on the enemy, and you can flank around behind them and get them from behind their shield. You think about like biotic pull. You get Liara to do a biotic pull. And as soon as she does that, it literally yanks the shield out of the guy's hands, and you can go after him. So suddenly all of these things kind of really have an interesting effect because of the existing gameplay that we have in a Mass Effect game. So I think people are really noticing a lot of that stuff. It's even stuff like we have much better agility for Commander Shepard. So you're able to do combat rolls when you're under fire. You're able to roll between positions of cover. And I think people are really noticing that it just feels like you're able to do so much more. You're not just kind of moving around a flat surface. You're falling, you're climbing, you're mantling over stuff. So I think it's just the moment-to-moment tightness of the controls people really notice.
Casey, a moment ago you mentioned biotics, and it looked to me like you guys have sort of tweaked the upgrade tree in there a little bit. Can you describe to everybody how it works in Mass Effect 3 and what you guys are trying to achieve with this change?
Sure. Well, one of the big pieces of feedback that we had with Mass Effect 2 was people wanted to be able to make more interesting RPG-style choices about how they would progress their character and their weapons and gear and everything like that. So we've really expanded the whole game economy to include the ability to modify your weapons and make a lot of choices, and that extends to the way you progress your character. So it starts with adding some of the new powers that you'll see in Mass Effect 3. So as you progress, you'll be able to choose from some new powers we've added, but also as you're progressing your character, one of the differences is that we've actually added the ability to kind of branch each power out into different flavors of it, so that it again is more of a preference. What's your play style? So even within a given power, you can decide what effect it's going to have. So, for example, as a passive power, you might have an ability to either cause more damage in combat or influence people in dialogue right off of the same power, just by choosing different versions of it.
Casey, we appreciate your time. Can you go ahead and remind everybody out there when the game is going to be out in stores?
Sure. Mass Effect 3 comes out on March 6, 2012 on the Xbox 360, the PS3, and the PC.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you.
There you guys have it. Mass Effect 3 here at Comic-Con 2011.